So here we've got one of my other 6 liters. This is a 2006 LQ4, and this engine on the old channel was the one that was pulled when there was the fires in the yard, so I'll put a clip of that there if I have it. So that was about a year ago, and then it was inspected, looked good, ran good, and then it was put away since then. And then we just went to fire it up again, and it sounded like this. So yeah, no idea why it sounds like that now. It looks fine. Maybe something fell into ports, but we're gonna start tearing it down, see what we can find, because I think I do want to sell this one. That one is also for sale, and then I think I'm just gonna stick with aluminum. But yeah, so let's go ahead. Let's flip it over. Let's get the pan off. So I'm really hoping it's a lifter. Maybe it was just sitting for a while and collapsed the lifter, but it sounds pretty fast to be Valvetrain. So yeah, we'll check the rings first, and then I really don't want to have to pull ahead because it's never been opened up. But it sounds remarkably similar to all the piston slappy LSs that we've had. So yeah, and then also when we drained the oil, there was no metal in it at all. Like obviously we've got the oil coming in now. It's all got good fresh oil in it and no metal, nothing magnetized. So even though, well, the piston's aluminum, but yeah, we'll rip the pan off right now and then maybe find the smoking gun before we have to pull ahead. Oh, that O-ring just fell. Oh, no, it's right here. Okay, cool. Thought it fell. Okay. Okay, we'll just tray off. All right, let's see if we can find anything. So I guess I'll go over the significance of the 2006 LQ4 and why I really hope this thing's actually in good shape. So in 2004 and a half, they switched to the floating wrist pin connecting rod, which is this guy. They're superior, and then especially when you put like ARP rod bolts, they're good for at least 7,000. And then this being an 06 specifically, it has the pistons out of, I think, either the L77, whatever the VVT 6.0 that came out for the 58 tooth Gen 4 stuff. It has those pistons. So it's got valve relief pistons and then the Gen 4 connecting rods. So I've got this open. Let's see. That's fine. All right, so yeah, those all seem fine. And I don't see, I was shining a light in there, I don't see any pieces of anything. Because yeah, it sounds like piston. Something might be in one of the cylinders from sitting for so long. And something might have fallen in, so we might have to tear in a little bit further. And then I really don't want to pull cylinder heads, but I think we might go grab the borescope and start actually looking in each cylinder and see what's going on. Okay, so it's been a couple days. Borescope's here. I've been spinning the motor over, going through, each spark plug hole. You really can't see a whole lot. It's pretty dark in there. See that this guy, the pistons right there. And then, yeah, I can't really see a whole lot. It's all pretty dirty and carbony, and I can't really rotate it as well as I'd like to. But the one thing I did find is, so I've got cylinder 1 at full intake valve open. And if I go in through here, through the intake valve, and then try to get, if I get just right, there. That looks like a foreign object. From underneath, I can't see any chunks of piston. I think this piston may have let go. Potentially, this might be my third junkyard LQ4 to have the pistons let go. It's the only failure I've ever seen in these, so I guess the only option now is just to yank ahead. I really didn't want to, I wanted to keep this thing together to sell it, but I guess that's really not an option anymore. Oh, I don't see anything. Oh, no, there's a piece right there. There it is. Okay, in the back. Okay, so let's spin her. So, yeah, that one looks okay. There's a little piece in that guy. Yeah, there's a little piece of that might be a ring. That's interesting. Don't see any cylinder, anything's going on. There's little pieces and stuff, but then I've had other motors do the same thing. It's very interesting. What the bottom of the head looks like. Okay, yeah, so clearly, so actually, you know what? I don't know what I was actually even seeing. I might have just been seeing that looked like a lump. But yeah, clearly, okay, cylinder, what is that? 7 had some pieces bumping around it, so this thing's trash. Maybe that was a valve guide. All the valves look like they're the same height. Actually, maybe not that one. You have to look a little bit closer.
What is that?
Pieces of something. So all the valves are all the same height. So it hasn't dropped a valve seat on this side. And then let's look at the other cylinder, or the other bank. Okay, so we're on the other side. I've pulled the rockers off, and as you can see here, if you get nice and level, none of the valve tips are higher than any other ones, so it hasn't dropped a valve seat. I know what the engine that's not here anymore, the one that had the completely broken in half piston from the old channel, that one of the valves was like sticking up that much further, so obviously the valve seat is what did it. So yeah, let's pull head bolts and let's see what we find. All right, see what we see. Nope. Come on, where is the smoking gun? So there's a, I don't know what this is a piece of, because nothing is falling apart. All these pistons are all, this side actually looks really good. This is the side that looked better on camera too. Good. Like I said, there's a little, like I said, nicks in these pistons, but yeah, I don't see any clear piston. That's, yeah, this one, when we first pulled that apart, that one had a big old chunk missing. And then, yeah, I see no pieces of piston. And then, so this is what I was talking about, how this has the same pistons as whatever the VVT motors that came, the VVT, that's an L77, whatever it is, that came. So, yeah, because like the VVT version of the Gen 453 also has these eyebrows. But yeah, I cannot figure out what that is pieces of. And I couldn't see in all these bores. I guess what I'll have to do now is check all the bores to see if I can see any sort of nicks or things or anything. But yeah, nothing here looks like bad at all. All right, so we're really scratching our heads. Like I said, this side literally looked better than that side. We can't find what was the foreign object that was bouncing around, because usually I was trying to look for it. Usually when these pistons break, then you have a piece of ring come off and that's what's flying around. This one is the worst cylinder. So I think what we're gonna do is flip it over, pull piston 7 out, and maybe see if any of the ring is missing, and then yeah, go from there. All right, number 7. Yeah, just chunks, but yeah, the rings are all still there. Yeah, it doesn't even look better than the all the new additions. Let's look at the bore. Yeah, so the bore looks totally fine. So, yeah, when not this one. When the one that had the completely broken piston and that was like broken in half that we found in the yard broken, that one had a score in like cylinder 5, but I don't think any of these bores are going to be scored, because I was even noticing that right when the heads came off. So yeah, I might have an idea for what I want to do with this. Okay, so this is a really good opportunity to explain the difference between this engine and the red motor. So here, LQ4 piston, if you notice, it's dish. And then because it's Gen 4, it's got a floating wrist pin, so you don't have to press out the rods or press out the wrist pins. And yeah, ta-da. So this piston is trash. It's a 4-inch piston with a negative 11 or 12 dish, totally worthless. These rods are really good 4-inch bore, really good. The crank is good. So this started life is exactly this. The only aftermarket part in this engine, technically in the rotating assembly, are a set of flat top pistons. So if you want to see the difference between that, so here we've got dish, and then I'll bring it over to one of my flat tops. So here is one of my flat top pistons. This is a stock LS1 piston. So this is 3898 bore 4.0. That's out of the block sitting over there. You can see it's a tiny bit smaller, but because this is dish, this is trash anyway. If you took this motor this far apart, you might as well put pistons in it anyway. So yeah, so this motor has bad pistons that are trash. Who cares? And then I'll move on to the heads. Okay, so the second thing that's trash on this motor are the cylinder heads. As you can see, this combustion chamber is totally fried, unusable, but really not that big of a deal. So I'm personally not a fan of 317 heads. The main thing that's not great about them is their 70cc combustion chamber, and now that this stuff's all pretty old, there's a lot better options. I've got a set of 243s here. This is off of my Gen 4 5.3, the LY5 sitting over there. These have 64cc chambers, way better. They flow like 250 on the intake. They're very similar to the AFR Enforcer sitting on the red motor, which is I think 268. So basically ported 243s. These came out in 01 on the LS6, the C5 Z06. And then by 2007, they were on every single 5.3. So yeah, there's a lot of options with this thing now. I think we're done filming, but we're probably gonna pull all the rest of the pistons out, and then this thing will be sitting as a ready to go crank, ready to go set of rods, and might still sell it. So yeah, I guess if you want something like this, let me know. And yeah, I guess we'll figure it out.